All right, this is a lot of parts, so let's go through some of these. This is a needle jet. This is a jet needle. I know, it's ridiculous. And the way it works is, if I showed you carburetor that's already built, if you look right inside there, well, this isn't very bright at all. Let's see. There we go. If you look inside here, you can see. Actually, you really can't. There you go. There you can. So let me lift this up. So you see the needle, and you see the little. So the needle is moving up and down on this diaphragm, and that little thing there is the jet that it passes into. Okay, so mount the carburetor. This. All right, so this needle has, if you look really closely, it's got a bunch of slits on it, and it has a C-clamp on it. And the idea is that you would raise or lower the height based on how you want it to run. But this guy is going to go into the tip of this guy right here. See that? Now that's how it rests. If I lift it up, you see it'll just fall back down in there, right? And if you notice, the needle is tapered. It gets thicker as you go higher. So the idea is that this jet, or this needle, is going to go through the jet and plug the hole, not let any fuel through. As you turn the throttle open, this thing is going to lift and allow fuel to sneak past it on the sides. And then if you lift it high enough, it'll come right to the edge, and now you're just dumping fuel. Bah! So this is the main jet, and then this one is the pilot jet. If you look at the pilot jet, it has these little holes on the side of it. Same principle. Fuel gets sucked through here, and it gets distributed in a mist, the way an ejector does, out of those holes. This tube does the same thing with the main jet. The main jet gets screwed into here. All right. The needle goes through here, and as it lifts, it allows the fuel to come through and get sprayed out through these little holes. All right, let's do some assembly here. All right, let's lift this up a little bit. Okay, so first thing we have to do is to get this jet needle in so it sticks out there. So it is directional. It does matter. And we want the skinny side, the longer side, to go out the top. So that's going to get dropped right in there. And then you could see it's just barely poking out. All right, so now we will take this guy, this barrel, get out of there, and we will drop that in there and screw it down, and that will cause that to stick out a little further. See, now it's sticking out further. There it goes. All right, so now we put our main jet into that. Come on now. Damn it. It's giving me a hard time. Put our main jet in there. And we're going to drop our pilot jet right beside it. turn that until it's snug. This we will just snug, and then this also just snug. Now, this guy is a gas float. All right, its job is to sit in here, and as the gas fills up inside this container, this will lift up and down and allow more or less fuel to flow in. So this little stopper sits in this hole, and this is where the fuel is coming in through. It's coming in through here, right? And this little thing lifts up and down. When it's sitting, it's keeping the gas from coming in. When it lifts up, it allows the gas to fill. And the way it works is this guy hooks on here like that. See, he's just kind of hanging there. And then we put that in that hole that I showed you. Come on now, give me a hard time. Of course, you're gonna give me a hard time. Okay. And then there's a small pin, this little pin right here, that holds it all in place. Just kind of work that pin. I'll do it from this side. It goes through here, and it holds this in place now. So right now the carburetor is upside down when it's on the bike, right? This bowl sits under here, all right? And see, float. So that bowl sits under here. It fills with gas. As the gas fills, this lifts up, and when it hits the top, it's pushing on that little valve that you saw right there, and that stops the fuel from filling. As you open the throttle and the fuel starts to drain, this lowers and it fills back up again. This is a constant thing. All right, so we got the bottom put in. Let's put the needle in from the top. All right, so, oh my God, this is such a pain. All right, so from the top, we have this diaphragm, which sits right inside there. We have to take our needle jet and we put some washers, 1, 2, on top of it. Okay, so remember these 2 washers sitting above the clip, which is on the 3rd position, right? We got 2 washers sitting on a clip that's at the 3rd position, or the center position, right? You got, like I showed you before, there's 5 slots on there, and our C-clamp is on the middle one, the 3rd one, with 2 washers on top of it. All right, this little plastic joint sits on top of it. This goes right in there, like that. If I can get it through. Come on. Come on. Oh, so annoying. All right, let me try it a different way. There we go. Okay. So, got that. I'm going to put this back on top. Oi. Come on now. Let's make sure you didn't lose. Nope, still got the springs. I mean the little washers. Alright, so now whole thing is going to go right into this. Turn this around so you can see it better. All right. This is so hard to do on camera. Remember that little thing that was poking up? All right, so we're going to make sure that it lands in that little hole, and there it goes. All right, so on top of that sits a spring which keeps constant force on it, and then on top of that we have our cover, which also keeps constant force and seals this up so it's vacuum tight. I'm just going to throw in 2 bolts for now. I'm not even going to tighten, I'm just going to snug it. I'll come back and do this later. It's not important. Alright, so now if you remember, right, when the needle lifts up, it allows more fuel to pass through, right? The spring pushes the diaphragm back down, and that's what's allowing the fuel to come up. As the engine's running, it's sucking air from the other side of the carburetor, which, as you see that silver thing on the other side, that's because the throttle is closed. But if I open the throttle, boom. So when you open it, air gets sucking through here, through the air filter, and then it's pulling the fuel from in here, through that where that needle is. Just imagine all this fuel just flying out of that hole from the Venturi principle, where air passing over something sucks liquid out. So that's what's going on there. All right. And again, that needle is coming, like before I showed you the needle passing through the top, but it's really coming from the other side. So as that needle is opening and closing, more fuel is getting sucked through here out of this bowl. All right, that bowl is filled with gas. When the bike's idling, the fuel is getting sucked through this one. That's the pilot jet, or jet pilot actually. And when you give it more gas, it gets sucked through here, which is the main jet, or the jet main. You can word it either way. This controls how much fuel is in the bowl. The needle controls how much fuel gets passed, right? And then when you open and close your throttle, which you could see through, right? You can kind of see through the needle. When you open and close your throttle, that decides how much air is getting pulled. And that's pretty much it. The only other thing is right here, which I don't have in here right just yet, is the fuel air adjustment. That's where you would adjust your, your AFR rather, right? Your 14.7 that you would want. This is where you would add more air to make it leaner, or remove air to make it richer.